100 things ridiculously unprofessional people can't stop saying. Coming up this week on Working Yourself Wednesday. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Working Yourself Wednesday. I'm Cory Mosley. This week I'm focusing on an article that I want to talk about that I read by Bill Murphy Jr. It appeared in Inc. magazine, and I just wanted to go right from the article here. It's 100 things that ridiculously unprofessional people can't stop doing now, or can't stop saying, I should say. Now, let me preface this. We're not going through 100 of these things because, as you know, Working Yourself Wednesdays are short, punchy, to the point, get you started, get you motivated, get you thinking. But I did pick out about 15 of my favorites. So I wanted to share them with you from the article and then have you determine how many of these you might be guilty of. So a couple of my favorites here that I picked out that you might be saying. Number 3 on the list was, and I think these are in no particular order, number 3 on the list was, I'm doing what you told me to do. How many times have you said that to your boss, to your employer, where you're only focused on being able to say you're doing the checklist item? Doesn't matter if you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong or you're doing it with 110%. It's, I'm doing what you told me to do. The next one is, it's none of your business. I love this one. So again, we're talking about these things in the business mindset. So I don't want you to have a scarcity model. I don't want you to have a compelling model where you're trying to keep information together. It's very common in the marketplace. You know something, you want to maintain power in that marketplace, you want to maintain power in that scenario, so you hoard all the information and make sure you're needed. Got to stop doing that, because your growth is going to lie in your ability to actually grow. And to grow, you have to make yourself open and available to do that. So number 7 on the list, a favorite, that's not my job. I know somebody watching this video has said that. You've whether said it in public or you said it in private. But again, it doesn't matter sometimes. Sometimes work just needs to be done. Sometimes the job just needs to get done. Imagine having a big project. Imagine having a big scenario that's happening and taking place, and you're needed. Is the answer, that's not my job, or the favorite, they don't pay me to do this? Stop thinking that way. Now, I'm not talking about being taken advantage of. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of by an employer or spouse or friend. But again, get out of that frame of mind that it's only about what you need to do in your tunnel. Number 11, no problem. So the funny thing here is a lot of people say this, and I'm guilty of some of this stuff here, but they talk about this idea of no problem. So my wife talks about this a lot, and she says that she read, or psychologically, that when you tell somebody something's no problem, you actually do mean it's a problem. So you do something for somebody, they say thank you, you say no problem. That's a lie. They want to focus on a no worries scenario or a you're welcome instead of the no problem, because it's kind of almost dismissive in this guy's argument. Number 15, I know you have to go, but let me tell you one more thing. It's kind of an oxymoron. It's kind of a weird thing, right? Somebody said they have to go, but we're trying to just get one more thing in. That's pretty unprofessional, according to Bill. And I can see how you could feel that way, because the truth is, you're really not letting me go. You're still trying to get your agenda out. And of course, in deals and different scenarios, that can be a problem. The next one is, it's our policy. This is a favorite in the customer service world. But again, you're gonna find as the customer's demands, needs, and competitive nature of your product or service go up, your policies may not be the right thing to help you keep, retain, and profit from customers. Number 25, I hear about this in my training classes all the time. I already know that. I hear people say things to me when we talk about certain concepts. My challenge to that answer has always been, don't tell me how you know something. Tell me how good you are at executing. And God forbid there be a scenario where there's new information for you to learn. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, has it all figured out. Even the president has a cabinet to help him make decisions. Because I said so. I understand this might be a favorite of you parents out there, but we're talking about it in the professional environment. As a leader, as a boss, as someone charged with the success of people and leading people, you have to be thinking about that. It's not always because I said so. That's not going to keep and help you retain people and keep them in a mindset to make the business profitable. Next one, that's not my fault. We got to get out of the steps of trying to shirk off blame and make a point where we're trying to cover yourself. I'm in a situation right now with a particular client where everybody's ducking for cover and running for cover, and all they're concerned about is covering their own butts. So again, that's not my fault. Shirking responsibility is not going to be the path forward to become more effective. This one, number 60 on the list, it is what it is. You know, that sounds like a great soundbite, but what is that going to do, and that mentality going to do to move anybody forward, whether you personally or your organization? Next one is, that will never work. That will never work. I think there's enough said there. We don't need any more pessimism in the marketplace today. I want realism, but I don't need pessimism. I'm so hungover. I thought this was a funny one. This is number 71. I put it in because it is funny. I listen to people, I hear people, and you'll hear people in a kind of what they believe to be a safe environment when they're amongst colleagues, where they're in a lunchroom or something, and they'll say things like that. Number 70 was, I'm so drunk. I left one out, but 71 is, I'm so hungover. I thought that was kind of interesting because it's amazing what people will share publicly, and it's so unprofessional. Number 73, I talk about, we've always done it this way. We probably agree that that's not the right answer. Number 77, it's almost I believe it's a MC Hammer song. It's all good. It's all good. Again, another great soundbite, but it doesn't really address challenges, issues, and opportunities for growth. And finally, for my salespeople out there, number 99 on the list, what would it take to get you to buy? I guess there's enough said on that. Again, we know that's an old school line. We know that that's a line when we're exhausted and we have no more technique. And we just ask the question. It's just like saying, please, Mr. Customer, I don't really have a lot of time here. Could you just tell me what would it take to get you to buy? So this is the short list. You can go on, find the Inc. magazine article if you want to read the list of the whole 100. How many are you guilty of? I know I was guilty of a few. So that's the challenge here. How many are you guilty of, and what are you going to do about it? I'll see you next week.